Hello, Mr. Grimes here, bringing you another video. This video will be on section 7-5 about congruent polygons. And as you see, it's not very long, so this video shouldn't be too long. But let's get started. So, congruent polygons, first off, let's talk about this symbol right here, congruent. What does it mean for something to be congruent? Well, notice it has an equal sign in here, so it has something to do with equal. Okay, but we're not just talking about two things being equal, but we also need to talk about the size and shape of an item. So a congruent polygon that is a polygon that is congruent are polygons with the same shape and size. So their sides are exactly the same size, and their angles are similar. Okay, that way they take the same shape. Another thing about congruent polygons is that their corresponding angles are congruent and their corresponding sides are congruent. So we can make the statement that corresponding parts of congruent polygons are congruent. So by corresponding, what we're meaning is they're in the same position or the same spot. Now, we can look at it from two different ways. We can look at it as a picture, or we can look at it from the standpoint of actually naming that figure. So the easier way is just to look at the name of the figure and do it that way. Most of the times I just look at the name and then I deal with the figure later. So let's look at this. This is supposed to be triangle. Triangle this way. Triangle ABC. Let me erase that. That looks ugly. Okay. Triangle ABC and triangle DEF, and we're saying that they are congruent. Okay. So let's see what they're talking about. A, B, C is this triangle right here. So it goes up the 1, down the 2, and then over across to the 3. We're saying that that's congruent with DEF, which is DEF. So up the 1, down the 2, over the 3. Now we need to show that these corresponding parts are congruent. So notice they made some statements here. They said AB, line segment AB equals line segment DE, line segment BC equals line segment EF, so on and so forth. Angle A equal or not equal, congruent to angle D, angle B congruent to angle E, so on and so forth. Okay. Now we can check to be sure that okay, I apologize for that little pause there. I had to answer a phone call. But anyways, what we were talking about is congruent polygons and their parts that are corresponding, and that the corresponding parts of congruent polygons have to be congruent. So looking at this, we got AB and DE, BC and EF, CA and FD, so on and so forth. Now, the easiest way to do it is not to look at the pictures, but to actually look at the names here. Okay? So, A is in the first position. B is in the second position. C is in the third position. Okay? Corresponding to A would be its corresponding part in this triangle, which would be the first position D. That's why we got A and D. Okay? B and E would be corresponding because they're both in the second position, and F and C would be because they're in the third. Now, how do we find the segments here? Well, if we choose the first and second terms here, we get AB. First and second terms here, we get DE, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's check. And by the way, we would want to check these out and make sure it's right. AB is equal to DE. Well, AB and DE both only have that single tick mark there, so that would check out. And we would want to go through and check every single one of these, which we could, and they're all true. Okay, so let's try a problem. Okay, so here we go. first off, what we're going to do is we're going to use this name to find our corresponding parts. Since this is a pentagon, there will be 5 sides and 5 angles. Okay, so here we go. Let's start off with the sides. We're going to start off with first and second, then we're going to go second, third, so on and so forth. So we got AB equal to, and this other one would be first and second, ZY. Alright, BC would go with YX. Alright, CD would go with XW. DE would go with WV. And then we'd have to take the first and last terms to connect the AE here, so that we get AE first and last. First and last on this other one would be ZV. And now time for our angles. We got, of course, angle A would be congruent to angle Z. Angle B would be congruent to angle Y. Angle C would be congruent to angle X. Angle D would be congruent to angle W. Angle E would be congruent to angle V. And then we'd want to check and make sure that all these statements are true. So we would go through and we would say, alright, well, is AB equal to ZY? Well, AB and ZY, yeah, they're equal. Check. BC, YX, check. CDXW, we would check that off. DEWV, DEWV, check. AEZV, AEZV, check. Alright, angle A and angle Z. Well, angle A is right here between this one that has 1 tick mark and this one that has 2, and angle Z is between the 1 and the 2. These check. Every single one of these, if we go through and check them, they check. Therefore, this is a true statement, and these 2 polygons are congruent. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will get back with you as soon as possible. Until next time, see you next video.